Before we jump into today's topic, a quick disclaimer. The stories and data we share come from the states that we practice in and the experiences that we personally had, which can differ greatly across our country and certainly the globe. This is not a professional advice show. So let's get comfy and talk about death.
Hello and welcome to Mort Mike.
A down-to-earth discussion on death and dying.
I'm Brandy.
I'm Sierra.
And I'm Red, and once again, we are your Necro Nibblers. This is a continuation of last month's podcast episode, in which we start our discussion on a much-anticipated topic, cannibalism. Yee! We are back at it again with some nice, tasty tales for you this month after our sampler platter of last episode. Cannibalism, is it right for you? Just kidding,
It could be.
But maybe.
It is for some.
But maybe.
I'd like to make the argument that cannibalism can, in fact, be vegan. I can save that as a tasty, delicious thing for the end. And I can start you off with a quick little cannibal tale of woe. Anyway, but I don't want to tell you guys too much stuff. But most recently, I am no longer single. Go team, high five.
Woo!
But who doesn't use the dating sites? Who doesn't use Tinder, Grindr, Bumble? My topic actually started in 2019, so pretty recent. I know we've heard about some ancient stuff. This is about Kevin Bacon, not the actor.
I was about to say,
6 degrees of
how did I not hear about
cannibalism.
this? Spread the rumor.
The worst part is his last name's Bacon,
Oh no, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate. There's just so many layers on this. It is sad, though. Let me set the tale, kids. We start off with Kevin Bacon. It's right around Christmas time in 2019. Very recently, he's been single for a while, honestly. He hops on Grindr, decides he's going to find himself a little fun one-night stand, as you do. No judgment there, because I know we've all done it. High five.
Been there to high five. Very nice.
Yeah, high five. Very nice. And he matches with a certain Mark Latunsky. Mark's a good bit older than him. It claims to be super into leather play and bondage and things along those lines. Also, disclaimer, if you are meeting up with a random person and planning on doing these types of things, maybe don't do it on the first time. Maybe meet up, set up some boundaries, consent, blah, blah, blah.
Get the vibe check going.
Vibe check. Yeah.
Also, please tell somebody where you're going.
Yeah.
And who you're with.
Kevin Bacon did do a good job. He did tell his roommate where he was going and gave the location and everything. So the next day when he did not come home, they were able to pretty quickly figure out that Mark had done some things. So what happens, right? Kevin goes over to Mark's place, they're doing what you do, and things escalate. Mark starts getting violent. He stabs Kevin. Kevin goes to run. This is super duper gross detail. I'm so sorry. Kevin doesn't get away. Mark stabs him an additional 17 times, hangs him upside down, slices his throat to try and drain his blood, and in doing so, also cuts off his man parts, his wiener.
Oh, no.
Yeah, his poor penis. And then proceeds to eat it raw.
Why the obsession with eating genitals?
Yeah, this all happened in his dungeon basement also. So Mark was not a very well man, obviously. If you're well, you probably don't cut off dudes' wieners and eat them. Or maybe you do. I don't know.
Talk for yourself.
I personally wouldn't.
No, you are.
Yeah, you definitely don't. But apparently this was a long time coming. He was found guilty pretty quickly. He never denied that he did it. He very much said that he did it because he knew Kevin, it's what Kevin wanted. This is what was supposed to happen, and that, it was assisted suicide, and that he got the best pleasure ever, and blah, blah, blah. So, dude was kind of a dick. He sucked. And he did suck, because this isn't the first time he did that. But it was the first time that he was successful in actually killing somebody. Not even, I think it was about 2 months previously, a young man who decided to remain anonymous, met up with Mark also, and had a similar situation where Mark attempted to stab him and tie him up, but the young man broke free. He ran, it was almost like a half a mile or something, because Mark's house, or this like place where he had these people meeting, is really rural. It's in the center of Michigan, like buttfuck nowhere. And this kid like ran like half a mile to like the nearest house, was banging on the door. Luckily the neighbors came out, and he was like, holy shit, like this guy's trying to like kill me, like, and he's really scantily clad, he's in bondage gear. Mark drove after him, went up to the neighbor's house also in bondage gear, and like had a knife, and was like, what the fuck are you doing? You know, and the neighbors were like, what the fuck? Freak out, of course, as you do.
Yeah.
Called the police, and the police were like, this seems consensual. We're not worried.
Bro, what the fuck? That's the same shit that happened with Dahmer. With Dahmer's victims, of just like, the police be like, oh, that's one of them gay things. And then they just like...
History repeats.
Seriously, that's so fucked up.
Isn't it crazy? And like, the first person was like, so like scared and didn't want things to come out about him using Grindr and things like that like he literally just didn't press charges and was like, I'm just glad I'm alive, you know? And then not even 2 months later, he literally kills poor Kevin. So that's insane.
So good job, Michigan police, for not stopping something that could have been easily stopped.
Period. Honestly though, like, and it wasn't even... He had a history of, like, I don't want to say, like, mental illness, but he had just recently divorced his wife, like, 2 years previously. They had just had a daughter together, like, the year before. Once they had their daughter and stuff, he, like, started kind of losing it. And he was, like, saying things where he thought that his mom wasn't actually his mom, and that he thought he was his mom's brother, and she had been lying to him his whole life because she, like, was going to get this inheritance. And his wife at the time sent him to like a psych eval, and they were like, yeah, man, like, here's some meds, like, you're gonna get through this is fine. He was on them for like a month and was like, this isn't what I want or need, you guys are all out to get me, like paranoid schizophrenia and stuff. So his wife divorced him, took the kids, ran. He had some odd end jobs. He was originally like a chemist too. Like, this guy was supposedly super smart and stuff. And then, you know, it just kind of caught up to him, I guess, and he killed a guy.
Dude.
And ate his wiener.
Was there anything about, like, what his schizophrenic, I guess, ideologies were and why he wanted to eat somebody?
So, in his claims in court, it was like an act of like pleasure, and that this is what Kevin wanted, and that he was assisting him in like a sexual version of suicide. And I don't know if he was saying this because his lawyer prompted him to, because not even a year, a couple months before all of this, Kevin had attempted suicide.
Oh, it's fucked up that they would try to weaponize that.
Right?
Court.
That's what I'm saying. His whole family and everybody were like, no, like, Kevin's on the up and up. Like, life's been really good for him. He had just started a new job at a salon literally like a week before. Like, he had been there for like 5 or 6 days before this happened. And he had just applied to University of Flint, or U of M's Flint. He was about to go to school for psychology. Life was like finally working out for him. And then he's robbed of it by this guy who's just, you know, a predator on these apps.
Seriously, there's a weird obsession, because there's some other like cannibal stuff I was reading through for prepping for the episode, of wiener eating specifically in like cannibalism stuff. There's like Armin Meiwes. It's German, whatever. And yeah, like he found some dude online, and no, granted, this is the difference here. Like, Kevin did not like specify that he wanted to be a part of this, but like with Armin, like he found someone online that's like, hey, I'm a cannibal, I want to eat somebody, and the other guy's like, hey, I want to be eaten, let's meet up. And then like they did, and he killed him and ate his wiener, and he burnt it apparently.
Opposites attract.
He burnt his wiener.
Wait, like as he was cooking it, he burnt it?
Yeah, he fucked it up.
Oh my God.
Not that someone usually has a lot of practice with cooking wieners. So yeah, fucked that whole up. But yeah, no, the obsession with eating genitals.
Yeah, you know, I went into it and I was like, LOL, I'm gonna find like a dick eating one, because I was like, haha, it'll be goofy. And then it was sad.
Yeah, super fucking sad.
Yeah.
Poor Kevin and his family, man.
But these people are out there, so don't randomly meet up with people unless it's in a public setting the first time, just in case.
There's so many stories of
There
people being
are!
abducted or hurt or worse based on meeting up with people off dating apps. Yeah, I can only imagine that once like dating apps became more common, like that just became a playground for predatory people.
Oh, God,
to be able to do shit like this.
yeah.
It's absolutely.
Well, social media in general. Anyway, that was my little spiel about that. Be careful online. Be careful meeting up with people. Don't get eaten.
That's a freaky story, dude.
Yeah.
Like, seriously.
That made me uncomfortable.
15, that's recent, man. He got a life sentence, by the way. He's not coming out anytime soon.
Oh, that's good. Okay. There's at least some resolve in this so you can't hurt anybody else.
I would be remiss if I didn't
up.
say that all of this could have been solved if the police took it seriously to begin with. But anyways,
Period.
Police doing their jobs.
tale as old as time.
Well, maybe I can bring things back up with a kind of like a higher, little happier note with one of my stories that I was able to find. So much of what we've been discussing during these episodes is like dog eat dog, man eat man. But here's a little ditty about some auto cannibalism. As autobiography is to writing one's own memoirs, auto-cannibalism is to indulge in one's own flesh. I went down quite the rabbit hole on just that word alone. It encompasses y'all nail biters, by the way. If you swallow, when you like chew your nails and stuff, like that's auto-cannibalism. People that eat their placentas after they give birth, that's all auto-cannibalism. Would you get like the placenta eating is just... I don't know about all that.
I have so many opinions on eating your own placenta.
I would love to hear your opinions.
I think it's gross.
I want to feel not crazy.
I think it's
gross. Okay.
But
okay.
I get it. You know, as like hippy dippy shit as I can get into. I get it. Would I do it? Fuck no. Not happening.
No. Especially after seeing so many placentas at our job.
Exactly. Touching a placenta, there is nothing about that. Like when you, this is, you know, a little industry talk for you, but when you chart that placenta, you have to write into the chart that it is beefy/spongy.
Ew.
Disgusting. Which I do not want to eat anything described as both beefy but also spongy.
No, it's not a good feeling in the hand at all. Because like it's almost like kind of how like a lung, not that people would know this, but like when you squish a lung, if it's got air in it, and it kind of like has that like squishy, like I'm sure there's like a slime out there for you, Sierra, that would feel like this.
I'm a slime advocate.
Oh, it's disgusting.
Yeah, no, it's like, if I was on my period and somebody told me that if I ate one of my blood clots, because that's essentially what a placenta is a gigantic blood clot.
Oh.
If I ate one of my blood clots, I would have really soft hair. Am I going to do that? No. My hair can be crunchy. I'm good.
No, thank you. No, thank you 1,000 times over.
It depends. Like, is it like...
Oh.
Like, if it was... Hold on. Hear me out. 2 seconds, I swear. If I was a balding man and eating period blood clots would gain me hair again, I would do it.
But it won't.
But if it did.
Yeah, if it did.
There's a lot of buts and ifs.
Yeah, exactly.
If it did, I would.
Right. I agree. I mean, if it actually was going to like, I don't know. If it actually did something that I really saw was beneficial to my body, yeah, maybe I'd consider it. But like, it doesn't. And you can get all those vitamins and nutrients anywhere else.
Yeah.
Okay, that's valid. Okay, fine. I won't eat the placenta. I just thought about it.
No, you stand staunch in it.
So there was a post that popped up on the wonderful wide world of Reddit, a community that we all love to hate and hate to love. And it was posted in the specific subreddit of r/I am. People can talk about like what they do or something that they've done. And this post had just like a literally just open book policy, like ask me what you want to know tag at the end of it. The beautifully named user, incredibly shiny shart.
Iconic. Love them. Very slay.
I love that for them. Yes.
Very slay.
He wanted everyone to know, and this is quotation, like full what he said. Hi all, I am a man who ate a portion of his own amputated leg. This is just Banger of a start.
I mean, yes.
I just got so excited. Oh my god, go. Carry on.
So in 2016, I'm going to call him Shart from here on out. Just
Good.
Okay, cool.
shortening of it.
Fuck yeah.
So Shart was in an unfortunate motorcycle accident that left him with a battered and shattered foot. And he wouldn't been able to walk on it again. There's really nothing they could do for it, so he elected to have it amputated. And it was never in the cards for Shart to not take his appendage home.
Yes, King, yes.
I'm saying, like, it was always his plan, like, this is coming home with me. It's part of me, it's coming home with me. So he started off with, like, oh, I want to have it taxidermied, maybe freeze-dried. And, like, he even prepared, like, when he was picking his foot up from the hospital, like, he had, like, a full cooler of ice. Like, he was good to go. Like, he had plans for this foot.
I love this man.
I know the
love
drive,
Shart.
the thought process
is-
after something so crazy happened to you, like,
Yeah.
genius.
And if I, like, ever had anything like this taken out of me, I would be doing the exact same thing up until where you're going with it. Because we all know what this episode is.
Yes, that's correct. You're right. But unfortunately, Shart found out the hard way. No taxidermist would like take him seriously, and like the actual freeze drying procedure would have been like way too expensive. So he was like standing around with a bunch of his friends, and he's like cleaning up the foot and like looking at it and having some thoughts. And he just like straight up cuts a muscle from the shin and like puts this little fillet into the freezer.
No.
He just chops it up, puts it in the freezer.
You think it was an anterior?
I think it was the anterior, yeah.
No.
Anterior tibialis. But yeah, he puts the fillet in the freezer, and the remainder of the foot, like he just like has like the foot and shin just cremated, like just the rest of it. So he still has his foot with him, just in like in a different way. Shart did the next logical thing to do in this situation, which is to call up 10 of your closest friends for a human main course taco brunch.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
It's
Shart,
amazing.
you're living my dream.
No.
Honestly, I kind of love it. Like
I'm obsessed.
I don't think I would. I think if I had the opportunity, this is like the cleanest you could do this. The cleanest cannibalism that you could do. I think I would do it. I think I
No
would.
hesitation. I'd fucking do it. I want to do it right now.
If this happens to you, Sierra, please, like we have this pact.
I'm not
like,
losing any limbs, but if I find somebody who
but
does,
if you
I will.
do, yeah, let me know. We'll have a brunch. But yeah, so actually one of like the 10 people he invited over was a chef, and like helped him actually like cook it up. And obviously the biggest question on everyone's mind, what does it taste like? How was the flavor? Like where are we talking texture wise here? And what Shart said was he like likened it to like venison, but it's super tough tough meat. So okay flavor, bad texture, essentially.
Yuck.
I absolutely am in love with this story. But of course, the skeptic in me was like, I don't know about that. I was getting stirred up of like, I feel like I don't even know how legally this could be done. Because like I've been a part of cremating people's amputations before, right? And like those hospitals only ever would release them to us, like to a funeral home for them to be like, no one ever just showed up with like their leg in a cooler. It's like, I need you to cremate this, you know? I mean, that's just my state. Like maybe like there's other states that there's no laws or regulations of those hospitals, but I have never run into this where you could just walk out the door with. I mean, fuck, they don't even let you take your teeth home from dentists.
Oh, those bastards.
You know?
That's so
I
true.
get all mine. I will wrestle them. I would wrestle them for it. He broke one of my wisdom teeth, and I literally, after, when I was all loopy still, looked him and I said, "You have no idea what you've done to me."
Damn.
That's so much power. I was such a powerful
drugged
statement.
up. I have no idea how I had the confidence to say that to this man, and he just looked at me like I was fucking crazy because I was. But yeah,
I can't wait to drop that on somebody that wrongs me in the future.
you have no idea what you've done to me. I still have
I
3
love
others.
that.
I don't know why I was so pressed.
But apparently, I did some research. Apparently, there are many facilities that will just have you sign some paperworks, and they'll send your body parts home with you. Like,
Okay.
I guess if you're interested in that, anybody out there, just ask. But there can't be like any worrying diseases. Like if it's a diseased tissue, then like they can't like reasonably and safely send that home with you. But Snopes.com, love Snopes.com. They even did their own detective work into this because it triggered their actually response too, and they came out with some supporting evidence for like the ability that some facilities will just send things home with you. Just got to ask and sign some paperwork that you're not going to sue them for anything. Then you get to take your shit home, which is fucking awesome. Because it's your shit. It's literally your like body parts. Like you should be able to have them.
I agree with that 100%. I would not eat my own foot though.
I would.
No, you wouldn't eat if it was ethically sourced.
No.
Like how Shart's situation was. If it was like super clean, like you would not even a little bit.
I know that Sierra keeps making this argument that cannibalism is vegan, but I was a vegan for like 6 years. And no, as a former vegan, I still believe it wouldn't go. I haven't heard the full argument. That is true.
Hear me out.
Yeah, I don't think that I could, like, even if I'm eating sushi and it's a fish in the sushi roll that I don't normally have or like, I will know immediately just from the texture of that fish that it's not one that I normally eat or know or like. And it would take me forever to like it because I don't know it. And so I just know I would not have an enjoyable experience eating human because I would just sit there the whole time going, this is human. And then I'd barf.
Yeah, but what if you liked it?
I think I would barf.
If we're going to talk like specifics, because here's the thing, like, I would want to, because obviously Shart's thing, like he talked about it, like it was tough. It was very tough, like meat. And that's the thing, right? Like if I was going to eat human, like it's got to be specific body parts. And then we get into that like tricky space of like, well, the best beef is like veal, which is baby cow. So
I'd eat a child.
That kind of goes into my story.
What?
Oh no, okay.
Well, should I just dive right in then?
Yes.
All right, well, let's flip it a little and let's talk about using cannibalism in art. Could cannibalism be art? Could it be used as some sort of profound statement for an artist's vision?
I mean, I'm along for the ride. I mean, paint me the picture and I'll dissect it.
I'm kind of like going to sell me on cannibalism more.
Yeah, I'm kind of like setting it up like I'm like a fan of this. I don't think I am, but it is very weird and interesting. So okay. I found this one instance. This man, and I know I'm going to butcher his name, and I always choose something that I can't pronounce, even when I look up the pronunciation, but it is what it is. Zhu Yu, I believe is how you say his name. He was an artist who in 2003 decided that he was going to explore cannibalism.
One does not just wake up and decide this, but okay.
There was a little bit of lead up to it. There was kind of, so he's a Chinese artist, and we know that there's a lot of different stereotypes and false rumors that go around about the Chinese and ingesting humans and things like that, and ingesting other creatures that we do not normally ingest here in the West. So I think that had a lot to do with it. A very high time where people were kind of, this is the early 2000s, so people are really kind of have their eye on China at this time. And so I think that this was a big response to that kind of going on. And then also he wanted to kind of explore the fact that there actually were no laws that prohibited him from eating a person. And there was no rules within the guidelines of this art show that he was doing that prohibited it either. I think we can gather why. I'm not sure what he was missing, but alas, he went on with it. And he created a fictional film titled Corpse Case.
A little on the nose, but all right.
Yeah. And he claimed that he stole a fetus from a medical school and ate it on camera.
I don't like that.
Yeah, so
Well, yeah, because it's not ethically sourced.
yes.
Yeah, that's not vegan.
Exactly. So he does not ethically source his meat. And he brings this fetus to his studio, I presume, takes these photos, makes this film, and then wants to show it at this art, at the showing. And they basically tell him no, like he can't show it. And then the police get involved and the FBI come out and Scotland Yard, and they kind of look into it and try and figure out if it was real or not. Zhu Yu claims that it was real, but, you know, after digging into it and stuff, there are no claims that say that it was actually real. Snopes, again, we bring up Snopes, looked into it as well, and they said that basically it looked like the body was constructed of, like, different items, so they think it was a duck's body with a doll head on it.
What?
Oh.
Oh, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Why? If you're gonna fucking make statements like that, you better double down. You better go steal goddamn fetus.
Well, yeah, because, like, you're gonna get into a legal... Because, yeah, like, the theft, that there might not be laws against the cannibalism, but the theft could be taken
Exactly.
seriously. So you're gonna have intervention from the law at some point. What the fuck? Why would you fake that? I mean, I get it. It's for reactions and stuff. It's for art.
That's just clickbait. That's
Yeah.
clickbait art.
Yeah, it's just clickbait.
I completely agree. I think because his reasoning behind it is basically like, there's no moral reason why I can't eat somebody. Like, there's no actual, because it's not illegal and it's not this, and like, it doesn't have to be. I mean, it does, but it doesn't have to be for you to know that that's wrong. That's inherently wrong. And faking it even is inherently wrong.
Right. I mean, okay, so we are now treating this as an art piece because it is trying to make a point, right? And I don't necessarily disagree with the, like, specific ideology that cannibalism shouldn't be wrong if it's something that, like, is discussed, or, like, there's, like, yet again, if there's a way to ethically do it, then I don't think that it should be something that is wrong. But the way he went about it, I feel like cancels out his own, like, point that he's trying to make.
He kind of shot himself in his own foot, so to speak, because
Yeah.
he was trying to make this point about, you know, media and the look that was on China at the time about those particular things. And then they ended up just using those pictures in a bunch of propaganda about how China eats babies. So
God damn it.
it didn't really work for him in either sense. His show was never shown. The pictures were only used as, like, propaganda, and I don't think he got in any legal trouble. I didn't see anything about that for it, but he does continue to, like, be kind of a weirdo and be about, like, human anatomy and stuff. And he ends up going on to do this, like, skin graft performance art installation as well, where it's, like, pictures of a dead pig lying in a hospital bed, and then he grafted his own skin onto the pig. And
That's kinda cool.
It's just, he just kind of was, like, about that body horror art, I guess, which is interesting, but
There's space for it. There's definitely space for that type of art.
There's
but I
space
feel
for it,
like
but you have to do it so effectively because otherwise all you're doing is utilizing something that you know is going to get an emotional response out of people because it's
especially
the easy
shock
thing to
value.
do.
Yeah, shock value.
exactly.
I'm really critical of, like, shock value art because, like, are you really making a point, or do you like to see the reaction people have?
yeah, exactly.
You know?
Correct.
And that's where I'm, like, on the borderline with this, where I'm not quite buying into his reason. And so therefore I'm kind of like, I don't know about that.
I agree. He ruined my argument of consensual cannibalism. but it's still vegan, and I promise I'll tell you how.
By the way, before we get into that, because we've made Sierra wait long enough, just for anybody interested out there, in the United States, it is also, there are no laws explicitly prohibiting cannibalism. Idaho is the only one that even mentions it in its legislation. So just do with that information what you will. Please do not go out and source your own.
Wait, I have a cannibalism instance that I didn't think of until just now. Before we end with Sierra's veganism, you can tell me if this is vegan, Sierra. One of my coworkers one time was, I won't say who it is, because they would murder me. I'm not even supposed to tell this story, period. So happy to do it on a podcast. I will leave any identifying things out of it, obviously. But we were at work doing a case, and I think that they flipped the body over and kind of lost grip, and we had already removed the back skin, so the adipose layer was exposed, and the reverb on the body basically made some adipose fly up and landed in one of my coworkers' mouths, and then he didn't know what really was going on and swallowed it. So I guess that's cannibalism.
Unintentional cannibalism. That's a new classification.
Now, is that cannibalism ethical? I think that's probably your only ethical cannibalism, is the accidental kind.
On accident.
I think that's an example of ethical cannibalism, but I think consensual cannibalism can be ethical if it's ethically sourced.
I'm gonna have to disagree.
And I think it's vegan because the difference. And hear me out. Wait, hold on. Let me back up because I got a whole entire spiel. The worst thing is I was literally in, as everybody on this podcast knows, I don't do anything with mortuary sciences and or death or anything. I'm into mortgage banking. And I was literally sitting in the training class today, and we were talking about weird laws and blah, blah, blah. And somehow cannibalism came up. And I made the very bold statement of cannibalism is vegan. And my trainer was like, there's a reason I sat you in the back. You scared me. So, and I know that this is not true for all vegans. So before I get a flood of hate comments and stuff, some vegans that I've interacted with choose to be vegan because animals cannot consent to kind of the torturous and terrible environments that we put them in to consume them, along with animal products or byproducts. Cows don't consent to us just stealing their milk from them after impregnating them and all kinds of stuff, right? If you ever watch Food Inc., it's not great. It's pretty bad. But yeah, it's a lot of it is that we're taking advantage of these, creatures who could just live these like very happy existent lives, and they don't consent to being consumed. My argument is that if somebody consents to being consumed, it would fall under the jurisdiction of veganism because they consented to it and were willing to give it. So it was not taken. It was not like unethically sourced, and therefore it's like an ethical product.
I rebuttal with this here. Defining veganism without like the emotional, like with taking that out, we're just doing the logical brain aspect of it. To be vegan is like somebody who does not eat any food derived from or like directly
no animal products.
The animal.
None.
Humans are animals, technically.
Right.
We're mammals.
But the difference is animals are cute.
I was going to say, I fundamentally have to disagree because in my head, I'm thinking, not the vegan part. I think I also have to disagree with that, but the consensual part. I don't know if I believe that it can be consensual to be eaten, because in my head I'm thinking if somebody is seeking that out, they're not a well individual. They have some
I don't mean like
problem.
While they're alive. If I die and I'm like, yo, when I kick the bucket, if you want to munch on my like bits and pieces, you have all fucking permission to do so. That's kind of the instance that I mean. I don't mean like hack off my leg while I'm still living so I can nut while it happens.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like if anybody is seeking to be killed in order to be eaten, like that is somebody who
that's
is
a problem.
Well, right.
That's a whole nother issue. But if you are consensually like, yo, when I die,
post my natural death,
or my leg got amputated and now it's time for some leg tacos, consensual.
feel like it's not vegan though.
Yeah, but think about it. What
This
is it
tough.
to be vegan? It's to
To
consume
not eat meat
animal
and
products.
consume their byproducts.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the consent part might not be in there. It's just, I don't know. I'm not vegan. I can't weigh in on this. We need a vegan on the... Well, no, Brandy said that she was.
This is the only reason why I make this argument is because I have a buddy who has been vegan for over like 12 or 15 years. And he agrees with me that cannibalism is vegan. And given the opportunity, he would consume a person if they consented to it.
Huh. That is interesting. We have to bring this up to the vegan community and like, okay, you guys have something else to mull over here.
But yeah, ask some vegans. Figure that out because I'd love to hear.
Well, I guess that gives our listeners some homework. Why don't you DM us and let us know what you think on this hot topic? Is cannibalism vegan or not? Let's see what people think out there. I'd love to.
This
love
is
to
our
hear.
first call to action.
Yeah. God, why are we spending it on this?
I love it. I think it is.
Well, all right. We'll leave it at a cliffhanger, a balance of maybe or maybe not for the end of this episode, because that'll be all this week for Mort Mike. Connect with us on our socials at Facebook and on YouTube at Mort Mike Podcast. And if you have any suggestions on topics you'd like to hear about or burning questions you might have about death, shoot us an email at mortmikepodcast@gmail.com. Let us know about that cannibalism.
Oh yeah, we need to know. And a huge thanks to Joey, our dedicated studio gopher, Marson Music for our theme, Deputies of Death, and Macklin Legan for our custom icons and banners.
Be sure to tune in the first Thursday of every month for more casual discussions on how vegan cannibalism really is. Thanks so much for listening. This has been Mort Mike. Ta-da!
Ta-ta.
Bye.